Slightly crowded morning here in Camp Massatators. This is a 2-person tent, but like I like to say, you know, 3 people tents are for 2 people, 2 people tents are for 1 person, and 1-person tents are for people that haven't done their research and have major regrets. One of us lies here and the other packs all their stuff up and then gets the heck out of the tent. We survived the night. There was lightning. The rain varied between drizzles and downpours and periods of nothing. That just seems to be how the storms are working out here. Plan for today, we're about 10 miles away from the Greenbelt. The storms could get potentially serious, so we're thinking we're just gonna buzz over there and then spring for a hotel just to not have to hassle. And we can ride out storms in this. This is completely waterproof, but if the wind really gets going, there is a point where these tents will collapse. So I am really grateful we were able to stay here last night. Honestly, the hardest part is trying to get a hold of the church to ask permission. Had pretty good luck getting permission, but that was out in Florida and Alabama, where somebody was doing the legwork of contacting him and getting numbers. And here we go, unfortunately. Rainstorm has arrived. The forecast is all over the place. It could be reasonable, like a ½ inch, or we could be an inch plus. There is also the potential for severe storms. Honestly, that doesn't actually impact us as much if there's lightning or tornadoes, obviously, but with flooding, I'd rather be walking than in a car on the freeway. But it does turn moisture management into a nightmare, especially here when we've been out in this for days. Yay, American Discovery Trail. She gets to go back to sunny California in a couple of days, so that's why she's more cheerful.
No, I'm more cheerful because I'm with you.
In the rain. So you can't smell me. When you're setting up and breaking down in the rain like this, things tend to get wetter and wetter, so like the tent is even wetter. Nice thing out west is you're able to dry out. Here it's kind of humid, so not so much. And Blondie's having poncho issues. And unfortunately this wind is picking up. 10 miles and we have a hotel option. Or a campground option, but things are getting a little underwater for some of these campgrounds. We had a hell of a time finding a place to put the tent up here last night. Honestly, the packing up and getting moving in the rain is horrid. Once you're moving, it's not as bad. Especially if you got an umbrella. Now, those winds arrive and we can't use the umbrellas. This is going to get quite unpleasant. So if you see this fence to my left, it's actually restricted NASA, and up ahead is a Secret Service training facility. So like that was our last fallback for a stealth camp, and it looks like it would have worked, but there are several maybe you don't want to screw with them organizations in the area that you don't want to trespass on. And at least for me, it was much less stressful throughout the night being someplace where we actually had permission. I tend to repeatedly sing the praises of the Florida Trail organization, but seriously, as far as road walks, they had contacted churches along the way, and we had water fill-ups and some that you can stay at. Same on the Alabama road walk. Pinhoti Outdoor Center or Alabama Hiker Club, one of them had contacted churches, and we knew, okay, Southern Baptist churches, you can stay. Just contact this number, and they had a number that we could contact, you know, that somebody would pick up. We only managed this thing last night because the voicemail for this particular church had call this number if you're having a pastoral emergency, and we reluctantly decided that this probably qualified, and we got to talk to the nice pastor lady who was like, oh yeah, sure. I had Jen call. Thing she was most concerned about is she said this wasn't the best area, and was Jen alone, because Jen tends to sound like, you know, a 14-year-old girl on the phone. The other one we tried was a Lutheran church in Old Town Bowie, I think, technically. And yeah, I mean, there's no services or anything on the night we were there. So nobody answers the phone. And I don't want to trespass, freak anybody out. have anybody worrying about are they going to confront me or call the police. Having done road walks and stealth camping for a couple of years, I will say I have noticed in this year, there are a lot more signs up about cameras that are monitored, and they're not just those game cameras that have an SD card. They have an antenna, and they're at least claiming they relay somewhere. Now, whether it's the equivalent of those, alarm stickers you can get on Etsy, just without the actual alarm service, who knows? I would say if there was one thing I wish the ADT would do through this section, it would be, contact some of the churches or just make contacts with some periodic locations that allow camping. Because basically we were told, Turnahoe, the Governor Bridge, and that's about it. Some folks ahead of us seem to be hoteling it a lot through here. Yeah, not only are we no shoulder, but restricted areas abound. Jen and I usually hike a little apart, but with all these blind curves, I don't want somebody to run me over and then also run her over. So I have to keep waiting for her. Hike faster, Blondie, mush! And welcome to the Secret Service training facility. Yeehaw! Spring break! That guy just stopped and really wanted to drop us somewhere. I said we were hiking across the country, and he's like, in this rain? And we're like, my mama never said I was bright. I found her that Guinness green thing on the side of the road, and it really adds a spring break festive flair to the proceedings. Yeehaw. It's hard not to daydream about somebody, coming out of one of those buildings, waving us over, giving us hot coffee next to a furnace. Hiking in this actually is not that bad, but if we had thermal issues, had to stop and set up camp, that would be messy. Made it across the ag section. We're basically taking this road down into the green belt and probably a hotel. And Taters laughed at me about the lions thing. Woohoo, Maryland! We've been making time because what else can you do in a downpour? We're almost to the area that has hotels. It's going to be a crapshoot whether they'll give us a room this early, but supposedly the worst part of the storm is coming in this next wave. Another hiker stood on the Governor Bridge. Apparently had the waters rise. It's kind of a shame I don't want to die because that looks kind of fun. We found a water stop. It is the spring known as TGI Fridays. Have you seen Office Space?
No.
I was going to get vegetables, salad, things like that. Miss Taters insisted on fried yummy goodness.
Always with the questionable restaurant choices.
After a few hours at Fridays drinking coffee, we are going for a hotel, hopefully, to dry everything out. and a tornado has not hit our hotel room, but you would be excused for thinking that it might have.
We have successfully dried stuff out, waited out the storm, and excited to head into DC tomorrow.
Oh no, that sounds like what?
Home sweet home for the night.